How we start the cult. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 133 of the Alter Ego Podcast. I don't know why I looked at that. My brain and was like, that's wrong. It's 134, but it's 133. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, Mr. Ryan.
What's happening?
How are you, buddy?
I'm swell. How are you?
It's good to see you. Good to see you. And, of course, top right, Mr. Rhino. How are you?
Good. Great.
Who are you waving in that instance?
Well, because on the screen you look to your left,
right?
So I'm to your immediate. So
look the wrong way.
I have to look like I'm looking at. Hey, Rhino.
Hey, man.
Rhino, you're looking the wrong way. You're looking the wrong way.
Oh, mirrors. Are we right?
With us after her long hiatus of trying to fight that little cave troll in her lap, Miss Megan is back.
Yeah, I'm still fighting this cave troll.
And we're here for the time being.
Yeah, hopefully the whole thing. That'd be great.
Hopefully she survives. Oh man, I missed you guys. It's only been 1 week, but golly gee, Batman, how's everybody been?
I've been good.
Good.
A lot of energy on the show today. A lot of energy.
A lot of positive energy here on the show.
It's a carousel. Goes around and goes up and down.
Up and down and around.
Feel it.
Let's talk about this really quick, right? Let's do it because we're not doing the full breakdown or anything like that, but all of us have been kind of simultaneously freaking out about The Last of Us episodes 1 and 2, huh? Haven't we?
Yeah.
It's been going pretty well.
I am addicted.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's incredible.
All I know is I was not expecting this show. I knew it was going to be HBO quality. I knew it was going to be really, really, really good. But the way they set it up, post and pre-show starting, it's been really good. Somebody's unhappy.
Bye, guys.
All right. Well, that lasted. She'll be back someday, folks. I promise. Anyway, yes, Last of Us has been absolutely bonkers, bananas. It's been insane.
I don't know what to do with my hands. The one thing I wanted to comment about this. We're not going to do spoilers. We're not going to do reviews yet, just because it's a fresh show. We're going to let the audience get that for themselves. But the one thing I will give is this: I really got early 2000s M. Night Shyamalan vibes out of the show, where. And I'll explain. Let me explain. Similar to Signs in The Village, like the especially the opening, specifically the openings of the show, where there was that tension there. There was that like feeling of suspense, and they really weren't giving us anything. Like there wasn't crazy shit happening, but like you were just sitting there like on the edge of your seat, like what is about to happen?
Right, and you've been kind of. You know, if you're not familiar with the game series, obviously, I'll say this. If you're not a fan of the games, you've never played the games, that means literally nothing. No. You can watch this show start to finish and enjoy it for what it is. This has been, I don't know. I got to agree with you. The suspense and the build up for this show, knowing what it is, has just been amazing. Like episode 2, purposeful, like for me, there's literally nothing that should scare you or freak you out in episode 2, and yet it did for me.
Yeah,
watching that and seeing what happens in episode 2, literally when nothing scary should be happening, it is so stinking good.
That's why I got the M. Night vibes out of it, because just like the movie Signs, there's like maybe 3 seconds of that movie that actually physically do scare you, but you're on the edge of your seat for the whole 2 hours. Yeah, and that's exactly what the show does for me.
It just that's what I was saying, because I was talking to the kids. They were looking at me like, one of them absolutely wants nothing to do with the show. The other one kind of wants to watch it. And I'm trying to tell them, like, guys, there's no wasted space in this show. None. Like, even when it feels like there's downtime, there is something very purposeful happening on screen. I can't recommend it enough. It's been really, really good.
I give it a 10 out of 10 after 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, IGN, which is notoriously unreliable, and I hate their reviews, gave it 9 and 9. And I was like, you know what? This one, you're kind of really on it with this one. Brian,
I would say so.
You watched some of it. What are your initial thoughts?
Me, I like it because like I just started to play the Last of Us a few months ago, but where I stopped is where the first episode actually ends. So I played through that whole first section, and to see it happen like that, almost like play for play, I was like, yo, I can't wait to see what they actually do.
Yeah.
So I'm actually trying to race playing the game through along with the show to see if it matches up.
Yeah. And so far, I really hate that they're doing this, but they're kind of releasing shot for shot on IGN and a lot of these gaming things. So, oh, look how close it is to the game. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Because you don't know what you're going to show that somebody is going to, oh, okay, well, never mind. But just everything, the action, the creatures, the makeup, it's insane. I know that we've been like, it's been like, I can't tell you the last time it's been a situation where Megan and I are sitting down. She's like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go. Turn it on.
Man,
we did that last night too. Yeah.
Can I tell you, watching this, I watched the first episode at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Then it's like 3:30. I was about to get up and go to bed. I was like, nah, I gotta see what the second one's about. And I watched the second one. I ended up going to bed till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but the premiere, episode 1, was the second biggest HBO premiere in over a decade.
It's almost like I shouldn't write stuff to bring up on the show. I put it down there.
Oh,
the first thing you were going to say.
Well, because I put that out last week, and I didn't know if we had said that last week, so I just want to reiterate it. But
no, for sure. And that's huge. I think the only one that's beaten it has been the Game of Thrones spinoff. Is that correct?
It was either Game of Thrones or the spinoff. I can't remember.
I think it was House of Dragons. I don't know if it was Game of Thrones. I think House of Dragons kind of piggybacked off of the hype of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But either way, this show is insane. I think, personally, this is the best thing I've seen HBO do yet.
Since Game of Thrones, in my opinion.
It depends on who you're talking to, and I just kind of like the tone and the feel of this more than I liked Game of Thrones.
I did say that this could be Pedro Pascal's best role that he's done. That includes Mandalorian. That includes the drug show that he was in with about Narcos. Pablo. Narcos, yeah. So this could be potentially his best role that he's ever done.
Yeah, and I mean, just one more thing that I wanted to touch on. There's a focal point in episode 1, and it's geared hardware. These rugged yet stylish watches are the perfect accessory for any man who's always on the go. Whether it's a board meeting or a bar fight, made with high-quality materials and backed up by a lifetime warranty, you can rest assured that your Geared watch will be there for you when you need it most. Go to www.gearedhardware.com and use promo code ALTEREGO20 to get 20% off your order. Geared Hardware, real hardware.
No bullshit. I don't know if that's their motto, but it is now.
Made with real metal.
made with real hardware. No, but this show has been amazing. And so a couple things I had about this is that the clickers that were the sound engineers, if you will, or whatever they are in the actual game, are the same folks that are doing it for I guess you'll call them clickers or monsters or whatever they are in the show. I don't want to call them zombies. I feel like that's an injustice to what they are. But when you're like explaining it to somebody, that's the easiest thing to call them, right?
Yes. I would say so. Yeah.
That was one of the things I was actually worried about when it first started, and they were talking about it. I was like, oh, they better not. That's not what this is.
Right. That's exactly what. So when I'm trying to explain it, that's what I keep saying is like, no, they're zombies, but they're not. They've got a real purpose. There's more to them than the brainless zombie. They're a lot, in my opinion, scarier.
Yeah.
Especially when you listen to the details about them that you get in the show. You're like, holy God. Anyway, this show has been incredible, and there's already been all sorts of craziness on and off screen for this show. I agree it's Pedro Pascal's one of his best, or could potentially be his best at the end. But now there's controversy on the other end because the co-creator of the show is calling for he's trying to sue the production because he wasn't credited, and he's the co-creator of the game.
Which I agree with. I mean, if it's his brain that the entire concept came from, he deserves a credit, and I think that's kind of shitty that he didn't get one. I mean, imagine if Tolkien didn't get a credit for Game of Thrones, or
Tolkien gentleman did, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Excuse me, Lord of the Rings. It's R.R. Martin that did. You know what sucks? I was gonna say R.R. Martin for Lord of the Rings next. Flip them around, but I mean, it's true though. Imagine these guys not getting credit in the show or the movie itself that they helped create. So I agree with it 100%.
Yeah. I agree.
Who is the co-creator?
I mean, imagine if Stephen King never got credit for Return of the Jedi.
Shut up.
So what were you gonna say?
So who is the co-creator?
I'm looking it up for you right now. Again, we've said this a lot. All the stuff that we look at, we post prior on our Instagram. So let me go ahead and take a look because I know that he was mentioned in there. I don't know.
Did our social media poster mess another one up? You're on the chopping block. Okay.
Bruce Strawley. Bruce Strawley.
Yes.
Never heard of
It's an argument for unionization that someone part of the co-creation. Here's the moral of the story here, kids. Read your contracts. Be able to say no. Make sure that you're covered when you're in there, and have an attorney look it over. I don't want to say why I'm so passionate about that right now, but make sure you do that. So yeah, Last of Us. I don't want to spoil anything. I would love to do full spoilers and go into all of this and really break it down. I would even be interested in doing a watch party and going through why certain things are so important in the show that I've caught on to that I don't know if everybody does. I know that Rhino and I usually have a dish session as soon as we're done watching it.
Yep.
He's caught a couple things that I haven't in terms of, I'll be paying attention to something else and he won't, yada, yada. This is a great show. Go watch it.
Maybe there's a midpoint special in the future for Alter Ego where we break down the first half of the season so far. Stay tuned. You never know.
There's 8 episodes, I think, so we could hit a halfway mark. The John Wick director is being brought in to do a Michael B. Jordan Rainbow Six movie.
I'm intrigued.
Rainbow Six is a video game series. Actually, it's not a video game series. It was a book series started by Tom Clancy that then turned into a video game franchise. But the popular culture out there would probably more recognizably know it as the video game.
Yeah.
And Tom Clancy has been writing books like this for years and years.
Decades,
I think may he rest in peace. I think he's dead.
Jeez.
But he was a fantastic writer. He's my father's favorite author, actually, which is kind of crazy. And now Michael B. Jordan is going to be doing a movie about it. I've got to imagine it's only special ops soldiers going through difficult missions with high-tech gear and stuff like that. That being said, I don't think I am excited for this. When all these things are put on the screen for me, Michael B. Jordan just had that movie where he was a soldier, right?
I was literally going to bring that up because I'm pretty sure that was also a Tom Clancy thing too.
It's just, I don't think that great roles have been picked for him. I think people just look at him and realize he is such an incredible talent and such a fantastic actor that they want him in their movies. But the ideas that he's signed on for, I'm like, I think he
Am I the only one that's getting sick of him, to be honest with you?
No. And
I'm tired of seeing him a little bit.
He's got a little bit of that Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
So we're
do him
13 minutes,
just a smooch of it. But like I said, he could do so much better. I would love to see him in a role where he has to really, really challenge himself.
He really hasn't had a whole lot of depth yet in his roles.
That's what I'm saying.
In
my humblest of opinions,
ones that you haven't
like
probably watched. Honestly, the one that made him famous for me was The Wire.
The Wire. That was the TV show that he was in, right?
Yep.
But he was also in was he in that Platform movie? What was it?
Platform? I don't know.
Yeah. He's been in some stuff that's interesting. I just, like I said, these
I know what you're talking about, the Platform.
But I have to agree with you. There's nothing that's like Iron Man-esque.
Well, not even just Iron Man-esque, but like look at Chadwick Boseman. He did 42. He did all these really challenging, really in-depth roles, and they weren't necessarily blockbusters. I'm not saying everything he did was amazing, but
Fruitvale Station was the other one.
Fruitvale Station. That's the one I'm thinking of. Fruitvale Station.
I'll never be able to forgive him for doing the Fantastic Four reboot. So
I thought he was going to be great, Johnny Storm. He's got the perfect personality to be Johnny Storm. He's cocky. He's a good-looking guy. Everything about that says Johnny Storm when you think of Michael B. Jordan.
Could have been, but that movie was just so bad.
I forgot
Michael Jordan.
I forgot he was in Space Jam.
Was he?
Yeah.
He wasn't Space Jam. Yeah.
I mean, the Creeds were pretty good. I haven't seen them. From what I heard, they were good. So
Jonathan Majors is in the next Creed, by the way. Kang
Yes,
is
he
in the
is.
next Creed.
Yes, he is. He's playing one of Adonis's friends growing up. It's going to be a wild story. That one is for sure. But speaking of wild stories, Attack on Titan. Has anybody watched Attack on Titan in this room other than myself?
I've watched part of it.
Isn't that like an animated series?
That is an
sorts?
animated series.
Mhm.
It's anime.
Where
You know I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
As you would hear.
That is a really wild show. I got to be honest with you. It's not as crazy as like One Punch Man or anything like that, but that show is insane. I think they're coming up on their, if this isn't their last season, the next one will be.
This one is their last season, from what I understand.
I want to say it's done.
Yeah, so basically people can turn into these big mindless monsters, and well, they're basically giants that roam the entire world, and they eat people, and they're crazy, and they have to get these specialized rigs to fly around and try to fight them. It's insane. The show is kind of crazy, but at the same time, it held my interest for a little while. It's very brutal. Do not watch this with your children.
Yeah, that was
do
what
and see
got
what
my
happens.
my wife the first time. She's watching it, and the giant just picking people up, and she's like,
Eating
"What
them.
the hell are you watching?"
Yeah. She's
So is it graphic like Invincible? It's graphic like that.
it's worse than
Yeah.
Invincible.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, it's worse than Invincible. By the way, Invincible, since we're on the train of animated shows, got a trailer with Seth Rogen talking about it being out late 2023, which I'm excited about. And Seth Rogen's character, I think, is playing a bigger part in this one.
I really enjoyed the first season. I really did. It was different than anything we had seen out of superhero animated features. I think it kind of set the bar a little bit higher than what you're used to expecting. So I'm pretty intrigued for the second season.
For this superhero genre, yeah.
Yes, for the superhero genre, it's not technically anime,
right?
You know, but it has that brutality of an anime for superhero features,
which I thought was great. I don't know how I'm gonna like it without J.K. Simmons having such a big part in it. But either way, I'll still definitely check it out. High expectations. Last one, Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train. We've talked about Mugen Train. I don't know if everyone on the show has seen Mugen Train. I know 3 out of 4 of us have. You haven't watched any Demon Slayer yet, have you?
I have not. No.
Yeah. So
you have brought it up to me quite a few times, but I have not had a chance to yet.
Yeah. The Mugen Train arc is out on Netflix now. If you haven't seen it, that was the highest rated animated movie that ever came out. I think it was something crazy like that.
Did they release that movie at the same time as season 2? Did they just dump it all?
So the way Netflix is doing it is they're treating Mugen Train like a 6-episode season 2.
Oh, gotcha.
I just remember coming out of that theater thinking, holy shittles. This was an incredible movie. I mean, it's better than a lot of just regular movies. So yeah,
those are pretty high remarks coming from you, so I would trust that.
Yeah, it is. And Hulu has the Art District, which is the true season 2 of Demon Slayer. The show, I just can't get over how good it is. Speaking of shows, I can't get over how good it is. Season 2 of Vox Machina has dropped its first 3 episodes on Amazon Prime. So good. Add that to your list of things that you haven't watched it that you need to watch. The black guy, he says he likes it. He says he's seen it.
Yep, I can't wait.
Yep.
Yeah, because he can't watch like
he
episodes weekly.
He doesn't watch that stuff, but he'll watch this. That should tell you all you need to know.
It's 2023. I ain't got time to sit there and wait every week to see an episode.
Unless
what do you have to do?
I mean,
what do you have to do?
I have, Blade movies.
You caught him. You caught him on that one. What do you have to do? Well,
things in life.
Like I can understand that comment coming from people with multiple kids and 70-hour work weeks, but
what are you talking about? I work a lot. I'm actually going to work after this.
He is actually.
Oh well, I mean, hey,
dedicated to you, beautiful people.
But I don't know. I just don't have the time. I mean, not the time. I'm not patient enough to sit there and watch it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
What happens? Like after a little wet bit, I'm like, you know what? I don't care about this, and then I'm done.
He thought he was going to do the same thing with Last of Us. Anytime I'm so confident, I'm like, Ryan, you gotta watch it. You're gonna love it. And he comes in, he leaves me in suspense. I'm like, what do you think? He's like, I loved it, man. And I'm like, yeah, I thought so.
The only thing he's missing when he does that is the sunglasses from the guy from CSI Miami. What'd you think of it? Well, I
Was it David?
liked it.
I love oh, head turn.
Doing that.
I loved it. And then the doors just kick in. Okay, last thing I've got for TV and movies, other than the fact that actually I got two things, that Avatar is taking over the world. There's a small indie movie that came out that I kind of want to see because it had a small $15,000 budget. The name of the movie was called Skinamarink, I think it is. I don't know why. I don't care. It sounds original. Thank God, finally, an original movie. And then it said in the opening weekend, this movie with a $15,000 budget made $892,000. Hey, firm handshakes to those people. Good job. Love to see the little guy make it.
Just to warn those out there, though, who have no idea what this is, because I did a little bit of research on it because I, too, was interested, and I no longer am. So one of the reasons why I don't do horror movies, and some of the reviews that I have read from regular people on Twitter, there were multiple people saying they vomited in the theater. There were other people saying that they had never been that scared in their entire life watching a movie. And I made it through about 6 tweets, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I think we've talked about this here on the show. I don't like being scared. I'm not paying you my money to scare me.
You just piqued my interest, actually.
But like, that's the thing. Like certain shows, they aren't scary. But when you're just doing jump scare stuff,
yeah,
you know, like if it's narratively scary, I'm so in. I'm down to watch it. But if you're just like ripping someone's arm off and shoving it up their ass to get a scare, I don't care.
I like suspense and I like thrilling movies. I don't like the shock value stuff.
Yeah, if you just turn the bass on a little bit and hit me with a quick, that's a cheap scare.
Yeah.
That's not a scary movie. But knowing that something's about to happen and it being scary, who knows? So if you don't want to watch Skinamarink in about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, we'll see, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 or 5. Disney is making a Tron sequel.
Maybe 10.
If they are keeping the trend of Tron sequels, it will be 20 years until we
could be 25
since the last one was released. It's not even unrealistic to think 30.
I mean, it could be 35.
Yeah, I mean, but if you go 35, you got to assume 40's on the table. Let's go.
Could be 50.
Yeah, it could be. Let's go on to gaming, shall we? Before it gets to 60. This isn't really so much gaming. This is kind of like some interesting news here, and I just kind of wanted to round table it if we could.
All right.
2 companies, Microsoft and Google. Microsoft laid off 10,000 people. And Google has laid off 12,000 people. Why do we think that is?
Inflation, bro. It's hard out here for a pimp.
Sure.
Could be that.
I mean,
could be that, yeah.
Right.
Cost reduction type deal. It also could be that everything is becoming automated these days. I mean, a lot of the jobs that people had 10 years ago are now being done by computer programs. And if there was any industry that was going to be hit hard by that, it is the tech industry.
Right. Isn't that kind of like poetic justice? That your job was to automate everything and make it so easy that you automated yourself out of a job?
Yes.
The irony.
Yeah, there is a tad bit of irony in there.
I mean, I also think that big tech got a little too big for its britches.
Yeah.
I think that, and I'm not going to dive too deep into that subject. I feel for all these folks that lost their job. That's terrible. But I think some of these companies are growing just a little bit too much.
Well, I think another problem that has arisen, you know, I've done work at a lot of campuses for big tech companies, and all the stories that I've heard about these positions, you know, 8, 9, 10 years ago, there weren't many people in the big tech industry. There weren't many people going to college to be in the big tech industry. So you're paying these guys $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 to have these jobs, and then all of a sudden people are like, wait a minute, I can sit at a desk and make $150,000 a year?
Right.
Sign me up. So you have this giant fluctuation of people that are going to college to major in these degrees and these programs, and now all of a sudden these companies have way too many people working for them. And where are you going to cut costs at? You're not going to cut the CEO. You're not going to cut the vice presidents. You're going to cut the little guy that's making 6 figures.
And they're not going to cut themselves either, right? I mean, they're going to go and say, well, instead of me divvying up my bonus, I'm going to just fire 10,000 people.
What's crazy to me is think about a company like Microsoft. 12,000 was 10,000 employees.
Yeah.
10,000
for Microsoft and 12,000 for Google.
I mean,
those are small towns
they have left. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, that's nuts to me.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to think of that number, and just how were you a part of that? How do you sleep at night if you're HR and you're realizing that you're going to have to cut that many people?
Well, I mean, for Google, what has Google done lately that's anything? They dumped a bunch of money in this.
It's advertising, man. It's advertising. And I think a lot of it is new browsers that have opened up that aren't Google. And you know what? There's a thing for me is, and we're not going to, I'd say we weren't going to dive into it. We kind of are. It's scary sometimes to get in your car and your phone goes, oh, you're going right here. Here's how long it's going to take you to get there.
Yes.
Here's the best route. Your technology sitting there predicting everything about your life. Hey, you're just talking about XYZ. Here it is. Hopefully you're talking about alter ego and you're seeing our show pop up. But, it doesn't work like that. It's just insane to me what technology is doing to people's lives.
And not to get too conspiracy theory-ish, but to touch on what you just said, like how many times have we seen, or like been sitting there and like, oh man, I could really use a chocolate shake right now, and then all of a sudden you pull up Google, 3 places with chocolate shakes within a 5-mile radius.
Exactly. Or that thing where you're having a conversation. This has happened to Ryan and I several times. I'll be like, oh yeah, well, we're talking about football or something, and the watch will go, hey, I can help you with that. What I heard was bop, 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 bop. It's like, oh, stop. You shouldn't be listening to me. I didn't ask you to do that.
I weirdly enough, I kind of like it.
Do you like it?
I mean, to an extent, like if I'm saying something to you, like I'm asking for a chocolate shake or thinking about one and it brings it up, I'm like, well, no, I have to go get that shake. So thank you, Google.
I'm just going to say one word, and then we're going to go to break. Skynet. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. One more gaming thing to talk about. I know everyone out there is excited, especially Rhino and Megan. The PGA Tour game for EA Sports is supposed to release March 24th.
Oh, can't wait.
For those of you who can't get enough golf, that you want to sit out there and play golf digitally like myself, that will be out March 24th. And that is a good thing. PGA 2K has been really the only really successful golf game that's come out since Rory, and I don't even know if Rory was that successful.
It was a good game though. I mean, I thought EA did golf a lot better than 2K did. I've never been a fan of 2K, any of their sports games, football, baseball, none of them.
Yeah, they're not that good, and EA is a little bit more.
2K on the Dreamcast was a shit.
With Randy Moss on the cover?
Yeah.
I agree. I didn't think it ran as smoothly as EA did. Plus, I used to love the EA Sports that's in the game. And then you'd have whatever player was actually doing the whole in the game business. They'd show it before. Anyway,
EA Sports.
Yeah, I think they ran better, had more options, could do more. Changed the game back then.
We are going to have people who play NBA 2K religiously coming after us in the comments, though, even though I don't like that game.
Well, EA Sports doesn't have a basketball game, do they?
No.
They had NBA Live.
They used to a while ago, but
no, it's actually been released recently.
What I want is college football. Give me college football back. That's what I want.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to go win a Heisman with somebody from Toledo.
We're losing some of our people here, so let's get on. Let's talk about a little bit of Marvel here, shall we?
Yes.
Great news to hear that Jeremy Renner has been released from the hospital. He is back at home now. That's great.
30 broken bones.
That's what I was going to say. 30 broken bones in one sitting. Yeah, that's a lot of bones. You only have so many in your body.
What is like 208?
But
he broke literally like 6% or more than that, like 30% of the bones in his body. Math. He broke that many bones.
Hey guys, just don't fall under a snowplow, okay? Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
You know what?
Or at least utilize the safety features.
Yeah. So let's do this here with the Marvel. We're gonna give you good news, and then we're gonna give it bad news for one individual in the
Is he
show.
losing $1?
There's a crispy dollar on the way.
I should have done one of these.
It's supposed to start on the 30th or whatever. Yeah, we'll see.
Blade production supposed to start on the 30th of this year, baby. Keep those dollars crispy.
Supposed to start. Ain't gonna finish.
I would love to know if they rewrote a script, if they have a new script.
Had to have. Because here's the reason. This is one of those situations where Blade, albeit is so widely known and so popular, Blade is Wesley Snipes right now, period. Like, there have been other iterations of him, and that's been great, but Wesley Snipes transformed that character into what it is today. And you want to reintroduce that character that already has a very big following, and a lot of people really love Blade in the Blade movies. So you have high expectations. And so they go out and they get this A-lister to come play that character, right? Mahershala Ali, isn't he an Academy Award-winning actor?
Yeah.
Like, a big deal to get him to show up and want to be in your movie and be one of these titular characters that's going to lead the supernatural version of the MCU, because that's what they're leaning towards Blade to do, because at this point Wesley Snipes wrote him into being an Avenger. He was that popular. Like, a lot of things have happened for him since that movie come out. So now you've got a stinker of a script. Your star is upset with it. Nobody's liking where Blade's at. It's getting delayed already. So I think you don't have a choice but to go in and completely rewrite the script.
Well, a lot of people don't. A lot of the regular average fans, not to be disrespectful to anybody, but the regular average fans really don't know the impact that the Blade trilogy had on Marvel. It saved Marvel from going bankrupt.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that Blade trilogy, Marvel Comics probably ceases to exist as we know it.
That and so that is what kept them alive long enough to do Iron Man.
And the MCU, yes.
Then Iron Man. So roundabout way, you're absolutely right. Blade is the reason you got RDJ as Iron Man.
Yeah.
In my humblest of opinions.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, Feige was emailing me about it the other day. There's a little bit of a gray area there, but it is what it is. So May 30th, I really think they had to have redone everything, because if Mahershala Ali has not been announced as leaving the project, they went ahead and did everything they could to make him happy. Remember, when this first started, this impacted even Kevin Feige. They were like, he's going to slow down, take a break. We're going to do quality over quantity, and we're going to back off this production a lot.
Yeah.
So,
which was the right call. It was definitely the right call, because if they came out with a Blade feature that was a huge swing and a miss, you're going to lose a large portion of your audience going forward.
Well, you're going to prove a lot of people right, because a lot of people have this opinion right now that the MCU is falling off, and that comic book movies in general are falling off, even at the highest end of movies and filmmaking. Scorsese's been talking about it. Tarantino's been talking about it. James Cameron's been talking about it. I mean, when the guy who has 3 movies that have gone over $2 billion says that your industry is going to fail at some point, that's heat that you've got to deal with. So I don't think Marvel can afford to have Blade not do well without having a big loss in the following.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crunch time right now for the MCU. Ant-Man's got to hit, and it's got to hit hard, and then they've got to just kind of carry the torch from there. So hopefully they do.
Very confident that Ant-Man not only hits, but I think it's a home run. I do.
Yeah, I do too. I will be going to see that one, and probably tagging out with the missus here and letting her go see it after me. Ant-Man.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And so just about as big as Blade and Mahershala Ali, Selena Gomez.
Big.
International superstar Selena Gomez.
I mean, honestly, I think Selena Gomez is more popular than Mahershala Ali.
You're
That's
right.
Fair enough.
No. I'm being funny, but I will pay her due. There's a lot of young people out there in the world that love them some Selena Gomez. I think the people in this room probably don't care.
I watched a cooking show. It was entertaining.
Okay, we're gonna.
I would say popular, but not better.
Right. I agree. She is supposed to appear in Agatha Coven of Chaos. So now we've got
I don't care who's in that show. It's going to be amazing.
we've got Catherine. What's her name? Oh my God, Catherine Hahn,
Who's amazing.
who I love. I think is going to be the best part of that
outstanding.
show, which is wild considering that Aubrey Plaza is also in that show.
Yep.
And she is incredible. And now we've got Selena Gomez joining Agatha Coven of Chaos. This is going to be a wild show. And what if Kang shows up there?
Oh, I think it's a possibility for sure.
I was talking about it the other day that Kang did this whole thing where he kidnapped. We talked about it on the Kang special, which is on YouTube, by the way. Go check that out. We kind of did a deep dive in who Kang the Conqueror is, his many versions, maybe some of his motives, his powers. Go check that out. It's on YouTube. And he kidnaps Agatha, the Scarlet Witch, and one other entity who I can't remember. And that's a big part of the plot for them. And there's a reason. There's rumor that that Kang was the person who wrote the Darkhold, which is that big evil book that's in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and obviously in WandaVision there at the end. So Kang has big implications for the future of this character.
Well, it's also rumored that he is going to be the one that goes and saves Wanda from her death at the end of Doctor Strange. So there's that as well. But yeah, I think there is implications for Kang in the series. I think you will see him. I think you do see him.
I think this show is going to be better than we are even anticipating it being. It could be with the actors and people attached. And if my wild, crazy brain of putting these pieces together with Kang and Wanda and all these other implications that could happen, this could be as important as Loki for the other side of the MCU that I'm always talking about. Is that too crazy?
I think what you're saying holds a lot of water, because there's a reason why they're building an all-star cast for this. It's not a bunch of no-name people.
Right.
Like She-Hulk, the actress there isn't no-name, but she's probably C-list compared to everybody else. Same thing with Miss Marvel. You're talking about C-list actresses because it's not that big of a series. This one is going to have huge implications on the MCU because they're building an all-star cast to do it. So I think what you're saying is probably 100% accurate.
I just think there's a lot of people that could show up in this show. And you said you disagree, Ryan. Why do you disagree?
Oh no, I was just being a smart ass.
I mean, like look at the writing on the wall. Look at how many huge named actresses and actors are signed on to this show. Even old boy from Solo, he signed on to be an Agatha Coven of Chaos.
Solo, who's that?
Han Solo, the Solo movie.
And they're bringing the dude that played Quicksilver back for this as well.
Aaron Taylor Johnson?
No. The Fox Quicksilver that was in WandaVision. Yeah,
he was also Dahmer recently, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is rumored to make an appearance. Now they haven't confirmed if he's being Quicksilver again or what he's going to be, but he is rumored to make an appearance in the series.
I think it would be amazing if he is Quicksilver, and that was another one of Agatha's little sleight of hands to keep him out of her face, because she knew that Agatha might get a hold of him and he would be a serious threat.
Yep.
You know, who knows with this whole Agatha Coven of Chaos. In the comic world, there's a new team up, a new group going together that I don't understand. I've spoken to Rhino about it off camera, and he's very excited. I don't know what the implications could be, but there's going to be a Wolverine and Ghost Rider team up in a new comic run.
I am all about this. All about this. We've had these conversations several times playing Fortnite, because Fortnite has a lot of the Marvel characters, so we'll randomly choose a character, and then we'll say, could you imagine this team up in a comic? How awesome would that be? This is one of those team ups.
Yeah, I just think that this is the this reminds me of that movie Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart and The Rock. Not in terms of comedic value, but in this scenario, it's going to be Ghost Rider is The Rock and Wolverine is kind of Kevin Hart in terms of their abilities alone, not in their importance to the MCU. Not into their fandoms and the people that love them. I think they are A+ characters on their own, and putting them together, okay, it just doesn't make sense to me.
What is one of the things we've always said about comic books? It depends on who's writing it.
Yeah.
Now, what if in this storyline, Ghost Rider somehow bestows some of his powers on Wolverine?
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Now that is something we can definitely see in a comic book. That's not something we'd ever see on the silver screen.
Yeah.
But we can definitely see that in a comic book.
You never know.
That's true. You never know, but
you know, you just said that, and it likened me to the Thor: Love and Thunder scene when he gives all the kids the power of Thor. Go out there and so what about a lineup where Ghost Rider gives everybody a bit of that Ghost Rider power?
Yeah, and I mean this is a fraction.
A Wolverine popping the claws with
flames. Oh my god! Now this is a small fraction of the Midnight Suns. Wolverine is a Midnight Sun. Ghost Rider is a Midnight Sun. So it is two characters that have already grouped up together. They know each other. They've already been in storylines together. But I think Marvel is hiding something behind this. There's a reason why they're going to pit these two with each other.
I believe this is Johnny Blaze as well.
Yeah, because the Midnight Suns is the what's his name? I can't remember his name. God. But yeah, it's Johnny Blaze is in this one, I believe. Yes.
Nicolas Cage coming back.
The comics, but that would be. I think it would be interesting to see. And unless you can kind of scale up Wolverine for any intents and purposes. And by the way, that comment of these are two of the Midnight Suns. You know that play, the 6 Degrees for Kevin Bacon. If it's Marvel, find Wolverine. He's teamed up with literally everyone in the entire Marvel universe. I think
Ghost Rider's up there too.
I think it'd be more of a challenge to find people or groups that Wolverine has not teamed up with.
I agree 100%.
So yes, other news. J. Jonah Jameson, who most recently showed up in the last 2 Spider-Men, has said that he would still return as J. Jonah Jameson if asked. Who's asking for him to be replaced?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why would you want anyone else to play J. Jonah?
Like to me, he is synonymous with a Spider-Man project.
Yeah.
It would be weirder to see somebody else play J. Jonah Jameson than it would see somebody else play Spider-Man at this point. Like,
I agree 100%.
We've seen Andrew Garfield, we've seen Tobey Maguire. J. Jonah Jameson as J.K. Simmons has just been kind of the staple. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it if they ask me. I think they're gonna ask.
This is so weird too because he's such a small time character. But if you talk about perfect castings, we talked about RDJ, we talked about Chris Hemsworth, him as J. Jonah Jameson, it does not get better than that.
Right.
I don't think there's a person on the planet that plays a better J. Jonah than him.
Now, this is normally where I challenge myself to find that person, and I have to wholeheartedly agree with you. Just his personality, his voice, his everything. J.K. Simmons is perfect for that. So maybe we'll see him pop up in Amazing Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man 4 or whatever they want to call it. Spider-Man 4 Mobile Home.
No way to get farther from home when you're at home outside of your home.
Spider-Man, let's take the tram to our other home on the other side of the home. Yes. Oh, Channing Tatum was in the news as well. The Gambit project got brought up. I think this is an interesting one that I just wanted to toss to the group. Channing Tatum thinks that Disney scrapped the Gambit movie because of the tone. What are your thoughts? The tone of the movie. Maybe it was too dark. Maybe it was too, I don't know. Gambit's kind of a gambler. He's out in New Orleans. He's always waist deep in ladies of the night.
They didn't want to turn the Magic Mike Part 3.
Well, hey, I think.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think there's 2 reasons why they scrapped the picture for now. One of which is realistic, one of which is maybe a little further fetched. But I think the first reason they scrapped it is because it did not impact any storyline.
Right.
It wasn't going to have any major impact on the Thanos storyline. It wouldn't have had any major impact on a Kang storyline. It would have been a standalone movie at best.
Yeah.
The other reason I think they scrapped it is because who the fuck wants to watch Channing Tatum play fucking Gambit?
I don't think that's so much the question. You're right. I don't personally.
I would.
I think Channing Tatum's all right. But here's my problem. Gambit isn't even the most popular X-Man. He's kind of like a niche character. There's a lot of people who are crazy about him. They love them some Gambit. And you know what? I'm happy for you. I like Beta Ray Bill. I would love to see a Beta Ray Bill movie. Am I surprised one hasn't happened? No. Because just because you're Channing Tatum, agree. Look at the character that you want to be and say, does he fit? And Gambit, no, He doesn't. Gambit belongs in a team-up movie until maybe you have something established and a reason to offshoot and see why Gambit should be in his own standalone movie.
I mean, without having the X-Men around, I don't see the reason to have a Gambit movie made.
I mean, to build on what you're saying too, some of the bigger characters. I mean, we would all agree that Punisher is a much bigger character than Gambit. We would agree that we would agree that Daredevil is a much bigger character than Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of those characters have had their own movie.
And we're not even talking in terms of power, but just popularity and a story that you could tell. You could tell 10 more stories with Punisher than you could with Gambit.
Outside of the comic book diehard, the actual readers, outside of that particular demographic of people, I don't think anyone's clamoring for a Gambit movie. No one's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're not making Gambit. No one's saying that.
And I think Channing Tatum is talented. If he was to be Gambit in the movie, sure, I'll watch it. I'm down. But I'm just, I don't think the passion is there for the audience to see a Gambit movie. I don't think it's the tone. I think it was just it has no spot right now.
No,
maybe it was kind of dark. You never know.
I would love to see why it would be dark, having known what we know about Gambit. What's so dark about the movie? This isn't Logan.
Yeah, I mean, what? I can't think of any story arc that he's had in the comics that have been like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this with Gambit. I mean, it's not any more dark than a Wolverine has been, or a Punisher has been, or a Daredevil has been.
It's not anymore. It's not as dark as any of those. Look at those characters. There's not many that you can go dark with that aren't a member of the Brotherhood or Wolverine. So
no, I agree 100%.
I don't know. Last thing of the day, but this is kind of a little bit more than just a conversation. James Gunn is in Marvel news. Let's get it while we can. He says that Adam Warlock, who, as we're all aware, will be showing up in Guardians 3, could be and I'm quoting him here, really important character for the MCU. Guys, if you've listened to this show for any amount of time,
I want to slack my mic right now and just walk out. Take off the headset and just walk out.
How many times have we talked about Adam Warlock and how important he is for the MCU outside of the Infinity Gauntlet saga? He's just an important character. And so he says he casted him as somebody youthful so that they could be I'm not talking with a lisp and saying he's youthful. He's youthful as in he is young and can play this character for a very long time.
That's assuming this guy doesn't want to quit.
Why would he?
Why did I?
Yeah, I mean, what's the biggest feature he's done up until Marvel?
We're the Millers?
Yeah. I've gone on record and I've said this. I said this months ago before even the Guardians 3 trailer dropped. I said that I believe Warlock is going to be one of, if not the most important character in the Kang story arc.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I think going forward, he definitely, at least in the Kang story arc, and I mean, if they ever get to a galactic level story arc with like a Galactus or the Celestials or anything like that, he's still right there.
That's kind of one of the things we talked about in the Kang story arc is that's why you have some of these really, really powerful characters showing up, because right now, the state of the MCU, we don't have that. And Warlock is a welcome change, somebody that you can have show up if you don't have a Thor to come down with Mjolnir. You need somebody who can make a difference instantly, and Adam Warlock's that guy. What I did like about James Gunn, and this really probably isn't much of a surprise about this character, he says that this guy is just a baby in the movie. Now, that doesn't mean he's an infant, but as you remember, the Sovereign, they create their own citizens in birthing pods. And at the end of Guardians 2, she was saying she was using all her resources to create the perfect entity. And that's Adam Warlock. And so we've kind of said this a little bit, that we figured he would show up and be very naive to the world and the universe. Now,
I am interested to see where he gets his power. So, if anyone who's familiar with the comic books, he wears the Soul Stone on his forehead for a lot of the story arcs.
Yeah.
In the trailer, you can see something on his forehead. It's obviously not the Soul Stone.
Sure.
So I'm very intrigued to see what they concoct for where he's getting his powers, because it's obviously whatever's on his forehead.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if it has anything to do with harbulary batteries.
Harbulary batteries.
Those don't exist.
They're Annulax batteries. No. I'm just saying, I think this is going to be a big presence here in the MCU. I think he is going to immediately have an impact and then jump from Guardians to literally everything. I think we will see more of Adam Warlock than we will in the future of a full Guardian squad.
That's messed up, Feige.
I mean, I agree. I would love to keep seeing Rocket and Star-Lord and Groot if they survive the movie. But
we'll see Warlock on a more solo basis. I think he'll make cameos in the Avengers movies. He'll make cameos in some of the other space derived movies, but it'll be on a solo basis. It won't be on a team up basis.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's kind of a myth right now with Loki season 2 coming out, and there being rumors of Hyperion, there being rumors of Deadpool, there being rumors, way off rumors of Null possibly being out there in the universe.
Hercules, we know we have Hercules now.
Right. And this is just a lot of what ifs that could be happening right now, which is why I say again that Marvel's kind of put up or shut up in this red hot moment. I personally love them. I don't think they've missed with much other than Love and Thunder, but I still think that they've got a lot to prove.
I think they're starting to fly a little too close to the sun, man.
Icarus.
Speaking of what if, I think there is a small chance you could see Warlock redeem himself for his absence during the Thanos story arc in What If.
I'm kind of curious about What If right now with the season 2, because What If season 1 was clearly a roadmap for things that were going to happen in the MCU. Yep. So if people have followed that and taken a look and known that it's about to get a whole lot worse with the multiverse and all the different timelines, you could see almost all of that directly imprinted at some way or another in the MCU.
I think you're going to see a lot more what if for the actual definition of the phrase in season 2 than you did in season 1.
I mean, it was so widely reviewed as a bad show. Like it got a lot of
I have no idea why.
I don't either. I loved every episode. Truly. I mean, that episode where Hank Pym went crazy and was murdering all the Avengers, that was a sick episode. That was really great.
The zombies was amazing.
Well, that sparked its own spinoff. I'm ready for Marvel Zombies too.
I mean, how about Doctor Strange taking Ultron's blast and just eating it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the most badass scenes in the entire MCU at all.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be done. And you're right. We'll probably see some Celestials show up, or not Celestials, Eternals show up in What If. I mean, they obviously left it open that there was a zombie Thanos with a gauntlet out there.
Nice.
There could be a lot of things coming. I don't know. When is Ant-Man coming out? When is it released?
The 17th, I believe.
17th.
Yeah.
So
3 days before my birthday.
There you go. Remember that, everyone, because I will forget until I see it on Facebook. Because I forget.
I still don't even know your birthday. We've been best friends for a decade now.
Hold on. It's March 16th?
We're incorrect. Close, but no cigar.
March 13th.
Nope. You don't get the answer.
Neither of those.
March 11th.
Nope, you're way off.
All right, fuck it.
Okay, so that is going to do it for us here at the Alter Ego Podcast, episode 133. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. Go check out that Kang solo shot that Rhino and I did, and also go check out the verses, which we need to do our next verses.
Yes,
I think
we do.
a really good one of Taskmaster versus Batman.
That's a phenomenal one.
Who wants to step up and take it? Ooh, I'll take Taskmaster. Take him right now.
I'll take the bat.
You'll take the bat?
I'll take the bat.
Let's do it.
I like it.
We're going to see another Versus episode coming up really soon. And we are also kicking off a TikTok channel that will start uploading very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled.
Way late, we know, but
we're old.
Yeah.
That's Tic Tac? What is Tic Tac?
Tic Tac. Anyway, guys, Thank you so much for checking us out. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Alter Ego Pod. See you around the bend.
Is it March 8th?
It's not. That's my sister's birthday, though.
March 19th.